What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to episode 2 of Bills with BK of the new 2024 season. The Bills released the official 53-man roster, and linebacker Joe Andreessen did make the cut. He did grow up in Western New York in Lancaster, which is about 15 minutes away from Buffalo. So we're all rooting for this guy, Joe Andreessen, aka Buffalo Joe. He made the squad, and I gotta say, he deserved it. After he put on a clinic when he played the whole game against the Steelers, in the second preseason game as he racked up 11 tackles. Now, obviously, you got to take it with a grain of salt since it is preseason with a lot of backups. But see, this clip in particular against the Steelers really impressed me. Watch this Buffalo Joe right here, number 44, as he sheds number 78's block and makes an open field tackle. And number 78 is James Daniels. This guy's no scrub, all right? This is a 6-year vet with 82 career starts. And Anderson, an undrafted free agent who made the Bills on a tryout basis, manages to do something like this. I know it's just a preseason game, but this is showing some pretty good skills. So could this guy be a hometown hero? Or will he just provide us with some much-needed depth at linebacker position? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below. You know, maybe he's just some much-needed depth, but maybe he's a hometown hero. Who's to say he's not? You know, he sure stepped up when he needed to. He also had 8 tackles in the third preseason game against the Panthers, so that wasn't bad either. I gotta be honest, I think the biggest surprise with this 53-man roster was seeing Frank Gore Jr. getting cut. I mean, this guy showed a lot of promise in preseason. In the third preseason game against the Panthers, the guy had 100 yards and a touchdown. And he did have the highest PFF rookie grading at his position in this preseason, with 84.3. So it was a little bit of a surprise seeing this guy get cut after he did have a pretty good showing in the preseason. I guess we just felt like between James Cook, Ty Johnson, and Ray Davis that we just didn't really need Frank Gore Jr. I don't know. Personally, I think it's always good to have depth at position. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you think this was a mistake cutting Frank Gore Jr., or if you're happy with the depth we have at the position as it is. And of course, no surprise here that Gable Steveson, the Olympic wrestler, who had never played football in his life, got cut. I mean, it would have been kind of crazy if a guy who had never stepped on a football field in his life, you know, steps on the field and just makes an NFL team just because he's a wrestler and he's got the grappling skills and obviously knows how to use guys' weight against them. But this is the NFL we're talking about here, so it's a whole different story when you get the pads on and get the helmet on. I mean, that's going to be a big adjustment for anybody who has not played football in their life, let alone to just jump right into the NFL level. Kind of crazy. So no big surprise there that he didn't make the roster. I think McDermott, just being a wrestler, has belief in wrestlers and their abilities, and he wanted to give this guy a shot, and it didn't work out. So what can you say? And then Chase Claypool, who got hurt and cut a few weeks ago, that didn't end up panning out. Not a super big surprise there either, but I do kind of feel bad for this guy. I mean, it just feels like he cannot find an NFL team that he fits in with. You know, he was getting in fights during practice a couple weeks ago, and then he hurt himself, and then he gets cut. It just seems like this guy can't get a break. So best of luck to him. I mean, the guy had a ridiculous rookie season, and then he just kind of went downhill from there. And I kind of felt like the Buffalo Bills was his last chance at being on an NFL team again. I don't know which team is going to take a gamble on him now, but it just seems like it's a revolving door with this guy, with teams. So best of luck to him. Didn't work out in Buffalo, but, you know, I hope that he can find an NFL team that he fits in with nicely. The guy just cannot seem to find a good fit on a team anywhere. Now, injuries are beginning to pile up for us, and obviously the biggest and most devastating injury is Matt Milano, who tore his bicep in practice on a bag drill, which is just so frustrating. And, you know, I saw this guy make a comment on a Reddit post where he said it the best. We just can't ever have nice things. Right when we get Matt Milano back, we're all pumped to have him back this season. Having him teamed up with Terrell Bernard as a vicious linebacker duo, and then boom, he tears his bicep and he's out until maybe December. I can think is the best case scenario of us getting him back. And I'm not sure what extent of health he'll even be at in December. I don't think he'll be at 100% then. I think maybe like 75%. But even Matt Milano at 75% is pretty damn good, considering this guy was coming into the season as, I think, the 4th or 5th best linebacker in the league. This whole thing just feels like Tre'Davious White all over again. You know, Tre'Davious White comes back from injury, finally starts to kind of come back to his old self again, and then boom, he gets hurt again in that Miami game last season. And this just feels eerily similar to that, with one of our stud defensive players coming back from an injury and then getting hurt again right away. And there's just no sugarcoating it. It's a massive loss, any way you look at it. I mean, when you look at the schedule the Bills have, you could probably go ahead and say we're going to lose at least one game that I didn't think we were going to lose with the loss of Matt Milano. And it sucks. What can you say? All you can do is hope that these other guys step up. Hopefully Dorian Williams will fill in for him and get the starting position and make a big leap this year, the same way that Terrell Bernard did last year. That's all you can hope for, right? Just hope for the best. But obviously getting Matt Milano back by the playoffs would be huge for us, so knock on wood. Let's just hope for the best. Hope that we can get him back at least at some point this season. But it seems like the Bills are just getting hit with the injury bug a lot recently. With another linebacker hurt, with Baylon Spector with a calf injury, who's week to week. Then you got Curtis Samuel with turf toe. You got Marquez Valdez-Scantling out with a neck injury. Mitch Trubisky out a couple of weeks with a knee injury from the Steelers playoff game. So thank God that we kept Josh Allen out of that game because we beat the Steelers anyways. We didn't come out of it unscathed with Mitch Trubisky, our backup quarterback, being out for a few weeks. So thank God that we didn't have Josh Allen play. Mike Edwards also with a hamstring injury, although he did return to practice on a certain capacity last week, so that was good. Then you got DeMar Hamlin with a hamstring injury. Thank God we did get Cole Bishop back at practice last Tuesday, so hopefully it's Rapp and Bishop starting safeties week 1. But I've been hearing that the more likely outcome to start opposite of Rapp in the beginning of the season is Cam Lewis. I do trust Cam Lewis. I think that him and Rapp being our starting safeties to start the season is solid enough. I do have confidence in that duo. With all these injuries happening, we didn't have any of our starters out against the Panthers in the third preseason game because we just need to keep everybody healthy at this point. We didn't need to risk any starters in preseason games anymore, so I'm glad that we didn't have any of our starters out there for that game. And hey, we still managed to beat the Steelers, who had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields playing, and we didn't even have Allen in, and we still beat them, so that's not bad. Of course, it's just preseason, so, who really cares? But I'm also curious to hear your guys' thoughts on all these injuries, and if it's maybe time to take a look at the strength and conditioning coaches right now. Because you gotta wonder, with all these injuries, is this just the nature of the game and it happens? Or is it time to really take a look at our strength and conditioning coaches and maybe make a change, maybe do something differently? I don't know if it's us or if it's just the nature of the game. But drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on which stance you take on the matter. If you think that it is time to reevaluate some of these coaches, or if it's just the nature of the game and it happens, right? Some other positive notes preseason was Ray Davis, who sheds 5 tackles in this play. I think he was looking good. I think he'll provide some good depth. And also, I think it is very possible that Ray Davis becomes our goal line back. I think since James Cook has never really been that back for us. Ty Johnson, also not a really big guy. And not that Ray Davis is that big either, but he just kind of has that, bounce off defenders effect. You feel like this guy could just bounce off a defender and get into the end zone. So maybe he starts getting some goal line work whenever it's not Josh Allen taking them. It is possible. I think that if anybody has a chance to kind of take away some of these goal line touchdowns from Josh Allen, it would be Ray Davis. I think it's going to be James Cook, then Ty Johnson, and then Ray Davis. But I think Ray Davis could overtake that backup role, and it could, down the road, become James Cook, Ray Davis, and then Ty Johnson. But also having all three of them kind of rotating, I don't hate that either, because Ty Johnson had some good flashes last year too. He did look impressive in some games. So maybe that's why we dropped Frank Gore Jr. I wasn't super surprised by any of the people that got cut. I know that Schaefer's also got cut, and Justin Shorter, which might have been a little surprising to people because these are two 6'4" guys with pretty good hands. But I guess between Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, MVS, I guess we just didn't feel like we needed those guys. So week 1 is going to be a home opener against the Cardinals. I'm excited about this game. The Cardinals are looking like they could be a good team this year with Marvin Harrison Jr. joining the squad. That tight end, Trey McBride, was already looking real good last year. He's going to build some more chemistry with Kyler Murray. You got Kyler Murray coming into his first full year since his injury last year when he just came back. I think it was week 10 they got Kyler Murray back, something like that. So now, obviously, he's had some time to really pick up where he left off and get things rolling again. I think it's going to be a good game. It's definitely not going to be an easy win. The Cardinals are definitely more for real this year than they've been in a while, so this is going to be a good test for us right out the gate, see what we're made of. I think we're really going to have to bring it to this team, show them what we got. But I'm excited, man. It's football season. We've all been waiting for this for a long time, and now it's back. So pumped to see how we do September 8th against the Cardinals. We're going to bring it to them at home. That's good. Gotta love that. Home opener for the first game. You love that. You love to see it. I can't wait to do the recap and see how we do. But that's all I got for you guys this week. I'll see you next time. Go Bills.